If you are struggling with confidence and you're looking for ways to increase your confidence, then this video is for you. I have been thinking of creating a video on the topic of confidence, and I wanted to share things that I'm not finding anywhere else. And a couple of thoughts crossed my mind this morning. I thought, why not record this and see if it's worth sharing? So if it's worth sharing, I will post it here. If not, then I'm going to delete this. You have not seen this video. Okay. Let me ask you this. How many times you have been told this lie? And I call it a lie because you are told to fake it till you make it. And you were told to dress up. You were told to speak up loud. You were told to kind of think positive, be positive. And when you do that, you have fixed your confidence issue. You should be confident because you're doing all of that stuff. And if you're tempted, some of them or all of them, you probably have come to this realization that confidence, all these activities, they don't add up. They don't add up. So what I want to do, I wanted to do for a long time is I wanted to teach something that's deep, that's usable, and is not just surface, like motivation, no surface motivation. I wanted to teach something deep and something that's real, that's tangible, something that you could do. So, and I start out by saying this: confidence is not something that you build, not something that you stack up. Confidence is that which you uncover. That's from me, from coming from the hypnosis world. I have worked with, I don't know, over 10,000 one-on-one sessions later. And I say that, but there are more one-on-one sessions. 10,000 is a good number, sounds good to the ear. In each of those, practically 9 out of 10 times, in each of those consultations, there was never anybody who told me that I want more confidence. Everybody wants more confidence. So given that we can't stack confidence, that we have to uncover, we got to build a new perspective around this word called confidence. And the perspective is this: that you are not born without confidence. Okay, you are born with confidence. But over time, through situations, circumstances, people around you, they all induced self-doubt into you. So the default state is you're already having confidence in you. It's the conditioning that has taken you away from it. So what is this conditioning? We'll get into that. So we are not adding anything. We are removing a few things. So what are we removing? We are removing fear, a significant contributor for lack of confidence. Shame, another big contributor for lack of confidence. Guilt, and there are some other things, but if you pretty much 90% is fear, shame, and guilt. That's it. There could be more, but pretty much those are the three. So we have to figure out how to remove them. Once we remove them, then your confidence is back. Okay, but before we go there, let's understand the blocks. Blocks is a very important concept because not many I hear people talk on a very higher level. You might have heard that, but when you say there's something blocking you, there is something stopping you. People say that, and you may also realize that if something is blocking you. Question is, what is that? What is that block? Well, in hypnosis and hypnotherapy, we do call it a block, but we also call it an imprint. So there are three specific things that might be going wrong, that might be contributing for your inability to uncover yourself. And those three are: the first one is emotional anchoring. And emotional anchoring is something that might have happened to you very early on in your life. It could have happened later on too, but it happens all the time, throughout the day, at any point in time. But most of the times, when we look at people and their situations, it's always very early on. Early on, somebody judged you. Not that people are not judging you now, but somebody judged you, and if people do judge you now, you have more resistance for that. But when you were young, when your critical thinking was not active, at that point in time, people might have judged you, and when they made comments, when they made some remarks about you, then those might have gotten registered into your unconscious mind. So emotional anchoring is something like this, you can't do this, you are, no matter how much you try, you are not enough. These were the statements made by people who had higher power or higher stature in your life, and that got registered as an anchor in you, and which actually is acting as a post hypnotic suggestion, and then now you are moving around with that unconscious belief. The second one is, which is a little bit lighter one, but also pretty has a lot of significance, which is an inherited belief. An inherited belief is something like somebody commanding you, telling you, don't do that, don't be loud, don't go there, don't close the door, don't go out. So these are all the commands very early on, parents, teachers, all that also act as blocks, subconscious blocks. I can give you one example in my personal life, which is my mother. um, you know you know may God bless her in the heavens, used to always tell me that I somehow have only inherited the genetic traits of three of my cousins, and everything I do falls into those three cousins only, while I had many other cousins. And she never said that I inherited anything from my dad, and not even remote, as far as she is concerned. Everything I have ever, the way I speak, the way I dress up, the way I walk, everything was about these three of my elder cousins. That's the continuous anchoring, and that's the continuous, repeated saying of that belief. So which I inherited, obviously, and to a point where now I'm in a repetition loop. Even though I'm so aware of my circumstances, and I spend a lot of time within the space, I coach so many people. Sometimes I even stop myself. Sometimes I unconsciously question, oh, am I repeating my eldest cousin in this? Am I repeating my middle cousin in this? Something like that. It goes in my, and then I have to stop myself and I have to pull myself out of it, saying, no, 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 I'm different, I'm unique, I am me. So I have this repetition loop that I go into, and sometimes you might have experienced where you might have said things to yourself like, I'm not ready for this, or this is something that I cannot do, or what if I do and I fail. See, these are some of those repetition loops. You keep on continuously saying these things no matter what the situation is. If somebody says, go, do this, you will be successful. No, what if I fail? What if I lose money, something like that. So you constantly keep on in that loop. So this is where people go for a shift. They want a shift. So they try different modalities. And I come from the hypnosis world, so I'm going to give you the hypnotic angle on it. But it doesn't matter. You are doing meditation, you're doing yoga, you're doing many different things. Whatever things that you use to shift your mind, shift your thinking, you need to make a shift and break that block, and somehow remove that block. So the technique that I'm going to share with you can be done in a one-on-one consultation, expensive consultation, a lot of time and all that, or can be done very simply with a simple 60-second approach, which is very simple. The first thing you do, you got to identify that belief. Okay, that belief, whatever it is, you got to identify that. Okay, so I'm questioning my my act, and whom am I, who is responsible for this? Well, my mom said this about my second cousin. Okay, so that's my mental thing. Okay, so that means I'm trying to find out whose voice that I'm using to question myself. Technically, it's my mom's voice, but then my mom is referring to somebody else, my cousin, right? So whose voice is it? So what I do is I create a new subconscious command to override that voice. And my command is very simple. I tell myself, I tell this, I say, I trust myself. This is me. Okay. I'm speaking up. And I also tell myself, I don't need anybody's permission. So I'm not subconsciously asking anybody's permission. So I'm overriding that belief. You see that? So, There are different ways you can do that. You can close your eyes, you take a deep breath, you kind of calm down your nerves a little bit, and then go identify the voice, and then, you know, give a command to yourself and override it. So you can approach it differently, but the bottom line is very simple. You got to identify the belief, and you got to question whose voice are are you speaking, and then override that voice with your own voice, and you say that, I trust myself, and I'm in command of my life, and I am, I don't need permission from anyone. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to do, and you do that repeatedly till your unconscious mind start to act on it unconsciously. So you have to do it so many times that you do not need to do it consciously anymore. Okay, simple. I eliminated many in my life, and some I'm still eliminating. So that's why we say personal development or personal self-improvement is an ongoing, continuous activity. You don't start and stop. You keep on doing it over and over. Specifically, self-hypnosis cannot be stopped. You do whenever you want, but then you have to do it repeatedly for a long amount of time. Okay, so the real confidence comes from you knowing yourself. That's it. You knowing yourself. So the idea of this entire technique or any other technique is to know yourself. That's all there is to this. I'm going to stop here, but before I go and before you go, I want you to check out this video. Recently, a few days ago, I released on my channel. Go check this video. Bye now.